Hey, have you ever finished a quilt top and thought, it's just too small? This got me to thinking about my mom and my aunt who used to do hair. So people would come in for their salon and they would say they wanted their hair longer. Well, they were there for a haircut, right? It's like, and they would laugh about it, not in front of the customers, of course, but they would laugh about it later. But if they had been solution mind like we're doing with this quilt top, then maybe they could have invented hair extensions and my life would be very different. Anyway, so this one, what we're gonna show is how to do hair extensions on a quilt top. In this case, we're gonna build mitered corners, and you can see I've got this, as you can see, this nice big flap on the back. I still need to trim that off, so when that's trimmed off, it'll be like that. But there'll be a batting behind it. But what I did with my red, white, and blue woohoo, because it was too small, I added double borders. So I added the blue and I added the red. And here's how I did it. Let's watch. Hello. There's Sherlock. Yay, Sherlock. All right, so I've got a quilt that I worked on. This is red, white, and woohoo. It's 42 inches by 42 inches. I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger by adding a frame around it. We're gonna add two colors. We're gonna add the blue and the red that looks like this. It's also gonna be my backing color. Yes, let's do this. I make the first part the same width that I was using, which is 2.5 inches. This was from a jelly roll. Let's do this. All right, 2.5. So these are generally, here's the red. We're gonna double that, so we'll make these 5 inches. Find the pedal. Okay, now we're gonna do the reds. I want to diagonal the reds. I do not want to diagonal the reds. We're gonna sew these straight. My selvage edges are not that bad. They're the same thickness on the red, so we're okay with those. We can leave those. Iron next. Next, we sew some more. So we're gonna sew the blue to the red. So this is gonna be the inside of the frame, and the red will be the outside of the frame. Right sides together, go. I'm sewing right along the side, and I've moved the needle over. So this is where I move the needle over on my machine. But I've got the needle all the way over, and that gives me a perfect 1/4 inch. So much better than looking at those stinky numbers. Who needs the stinky numbers? Ah! All right, we've got them sewn. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna iron them open. We're gonna iron the dark side, which is the blue in this case. Although the red's pretty dark. We're gonna add our frame around our little too small quilt top. And that will solve our problem. Yay! All right, so I'm gonna leave a little bit so I'm not gonna start all the way at the end. I'm gonna leave a little bit of flap so that I can close it off nicely. All right, so we'll do about there. So I'm about 1 inch in. Go ahead and lock this down. And I'm just sewing this, I'm sewing the frame. what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sew right to this corner, but not off the edge. So the 1/4 inch, if I keep sewing, will be right there. That's the diagonal. That's the diagonal right there. So I want to sew to that spot, which will be, let's get this pinned up, right, 2 to there. This pin right here. I'm not going over the pin, I'm going to go straight to it. And let's back off of that. Okay, so what we're going to do, so it's going to be, oh, we got some strings. Let's get the strings off of here. All right, so we want show this. We want this to be at the 45. I think I go ahead and sew this now. I think that'll be the easiest. What I'm struggling with is how to make it easy for you. I can see what I need to do. What I need to do is sew across here. But do I do that before or after? It's like, I think I do it before. You'll know for sure you got it. All right, so let's iron. I've got it lined up right here, and I've got it lined up here. And I'm going to draw a line. Now, when I fold this, going off the other way. So, get that just right. Bang, bang, bang. Okay, so I've got my pencil line. I'm along my pencil line, and I'm on the 45 on this edge here. And we are going to draw that line. Okay, and I'm going to line those two lines up. We're going to go ahead and sew that now. So we're going to go from the outside in. So I'm treating it like a frame on a picture. Get that point. It's right there. Boop. Okay. Now we're going to come right right down to that point. So it's not going to go all the way off. I want that to fold under here. So we're going to stop a little bit before we get to the end. I'm going to go ahead and pin that so you can see where I'm talking about. So we're going to pin right to there, and I can feel it. That's where the fabric stops. I'm not going to pull this. I'm just going to let it pull. I'm just going to let it pull itself in. So I'm just holding it steady right along that pencil line that I drew. Up to that point, and then I'm going to go back. All right, we'll put that right there. And let's open it up. That should work. Look at there. Look at that beautiful corner. Woo-hoo-hoo! All right, and it didn't line up there. Why didn't it line up there? Do I care? Well, let's see. Does it work this way? No, it doesn't. I don't care. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and trim that off later. I'm gonna go down and do the next one. Just do that corner one more time so you can see it. Okay, so we're gonna go right off of that. Right off of that, we're gonna go 45. Just right there. I don't need a whole line. I just need this last part. So get that last part. Get the last part. I'm gonna flip my ruler so it works better the other way. So it works the other way. I thought it would work the other way. And we're gonna use the seam instead of end. Nice and flat. Nice and flat. There we go. This will fold right in here, just like that. That's right. We finally made the point, which is right there. Fold that. Nice and half on that side. Nice and half on this side, which will take it right down to the edge. I'm going to start sewing, and then when I get closer, I'm going to go ahead and pin it. Lock that stitch in. I'm sewing right along that pencil line that I made. Yes, the pencil will wash out. Okay, so we get closer to this bottom. We've got right there is where it's going to line up. You can feel it. I'm going to put a pin right there. So I've got 3 corners coming together when I get done with it. So if I lock it in each way, it'll be nice and locked in. So, and I'm running out of here. Can I make it? Maybe not. Come on, baby. Come on, Bobby. Woo, baby. 1, 2. Wow, how's that for running out of bobbin? Right there, too. Huh, I'll be darned. Yeah, our bobbin's threaded again. We've got a lot of wind going on outside. So, okay, so we got to right to there. I'll put a pin right there so I can see it. I want the needle to go right in that same spot. So it's the same spot. Everybody went down already twice. Now we're going to go down a 3rd time, but in a different direction. Okay. And look at this. We ran out. I need some more. I need some more. So let me just go ahead and get around the corner here. I did. Ow! Well, that's interesting. So my needle fell out. Okay, so be careful. Be really careful. Did we break the needle? We did not break the needle. Okay, let's go ahead and turn the machine off. Safety first. We'll turn the machine off. Let's get the needle back in here. wonder how I lost that. But it's definitely loose down there. Okay. All right, that's in there. Okay. All right, very nice. Everything in? Okay. We're all still aligned. All right, let's get threaded. Boy, if you don't have an automatic threader, phew, it's you know, it wasn't a big deal when I was younger, but now that I'm getting ready to go in for cataract surgery, the automatic needle threader is awesome. What do you think, Sherlock? He's just barking at the birds. So now that the needle's back in and we're rethreaded, okay, where's my pin? Let's go back to that spot. I want to go back down there. Didn't even sew it, huh? Okay. All right. So let's get all that lined up. Okay, I'm only going to come out to maybe to there. Because I'm going to need to add a slow patch in. So what are you talking about now, babe? Look, I'm short. My frame doesn't go all the way around. Oh no! Literally, back to the cutting board. All right, so here's what it looks like with the frame around it. And we still have the missing piece going on right here. But I wanted to, you know, I can fix that offline. But I wanted to show you how gorgeous this looks. So the blue that I added is the same width as the stripes I used in my quilt, which is, in this case, it's 2.5 inches. This was from one jelly roll. And then the red that I added is just twice this. That's it. That's it. And that helps make the small one jelly roll quilt turn into something that's a little bit bigger, thank goodness. So let's check the measurements. So, and it's a square quilt. All right, 53 inches. So usually if you make these for like quilts that you give away, they want them to be, thank you, Sherlock. They want them to be at least 50 inches by 50 inches for little kids. So if you're doing there you go. There you go. Sherlock, are you giving the bark of approval or you're barking at the neighbors? He's just barking at the neighbors. Anyway, so if you're doing it for a charity quilt, you want at least 50 inches by 50 inches. There you go. Okay, so Sherlock's taking over the framing part. Here's framing. Yes, and we did it in less than an hour, except that I'm still missing a piece. So if I had the whole fabric, I would have finished it in less than an hour. That's how you can fix a little quilt, turn it into a bigger quilt. Just add a frame around it. There you go. We could put frames around our pictures. Why can't we put frames? I didn't say that right. You know what I mean. Bye for now. See you next time.